Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. Hey Giants fans, buckle up because there's some serious buzz swirling around the NFL, and it's got the potential to reshape the NFC East in a big way. Word on the street is that the Denver Broncos, currently sitting at a disappointing 7-9 and in the middle of a rebuild, are considering making a bold move. And that move could involve trading one of the league's top young cornerbacks, Patrick Surtain, to the New York Giants. Yes, you heard that right. It's a blockbuster rumor, but the sources whisper that the Broncos are willing to swap Surtain for a first-round pick in 2026 and a second-rounder in 2027. And in doing so, they'd free up a hefty $16 million in cap space, which they desperately need to bolster their quarterback situation and rebuild their offensive line. Now, let's talk about Surtain, because if this deal happens, it's going to be a game-changer for us. Surtain isn't just any cornerback. He's a shutdown defender, the kind of player that can completely flip the script of a secondary. The guy's a true eclipse on defense, shadowing WR1s with a level of coverage that's almost suffocating. He's the type of player who can erase the biggest threats, and his instincts are just on another level. Watching him play, it's clear he's a top-tier talent. His ability to read plays, jump routes, and make key interceptions makes him a nightmare for offenses. Surtain has already accumulated 14 interceptions over his young career, along with 52 pass breakups, and his PFF grade hovers around a stellar 92. 7, that's elite, no question. In 2025, he racked up 6 interceptions, 19 pass deflections, and held opposing quarterbacks to a 47% completion rate when targeting him. He allowed just 540 yards and posted an EPA per target of -0.26, all while being targeted 88 times for over 960 snaps without a single injury. He's proven he can perform at a high level, even surpassing his 2024 stats, which included 5 interceptions. What makes Surtain even more intriguing is his comparison to a peak Richard Sherman. He's got a success rate in man coverage that's about 23% higher than the league average, and quarterbacks face a passer rating of just 54 when throwing his way. His ability to shut down routes deep downfield is impressive. He's allowed only about 3 yards after the catch per reception, and he's been able to force negative EPA on deep routes, especially on third and long situations. The dude is a game changer, and landing him would be a huge boost for any secondary. Now, why would the Broncos consider parting ways with such a talented corner? Well, it's all about their current struggles. Denver is giving up an average of 23.4 points per game, and with a $22 million cap hit on Surtain, they're facing some tough decisions. They need to extend their offensive line, develop their young defensive linemen, and find ways to improve on the defensive back end without breaking the bank. Trading Surtain makes sense financially. It would free them from a $21 million annual cap hit and allow them to acquire draft capital that can be used to build for the future. Some NFL insiders are skeptical about their recent performance, pointing out that the Broncos have been inconsistent over the last 5 seasons, with a 2-3 record in the last 5 games and a history of struggling to close out games. The trade could serve as a reset button, similar to what the Eagles did by trading for Darius Slay in 2024, which helped free up cap space and brought in valuable draft picks. For the Giants, this potential acquisition is enormous. Our secondary has been a weak point in recent seasons, especially in 2025, when we surrendered an average of 265 yards per game through the air. Adding Surtain would instantly elevate our pass defense, projecting a boost of around 13 pass deflections, a 17% reduction in completions allowed, and a 17% increase in EPA per coverage snap. His presence would be a nightmare for opposing WR1s and would significantly reduce the number of big plays against us. If you look at his stats, he's comparable to some of the best in the league. He's allowed just over 2 yards of separation on average, which is fantastic, and he's been especially effective against top-tier receivers. The potential impact on our defense would be huge. We're talking about a player who could easily pick up 7 or more interceptions in a season, similar to what Jalen Ramsey did for the Jaguars and Rams, boosting our defense's overall performance. His ability to limit explosive plays by about 23% would help us become a top 10 pass defense, transforming our entire unit. This kind of upgrade isn't just about individual stats, it's about changing the game on the field. With Surtain lining up on one side, our secondary would be a nightmare for quarterbacks. Our defense would be more aggressive and disruptive, forcing turnovers and creating more opportunities for our offense to score. The Giants' offense, which has been a bit inconsistent at times, would benefit tremendously from more possessions and shorter fields, thanks to a more opportunistic defense. Plus, with Surtain's ability to shut down elite targets, our overall team confidence would skyrocket, especially heading into the playoffs. It's no secret that defenses like the one Surtain could bring to the table can be the difference makers in close games and playoff battles. Now let's talk about the impact this could have on the Giants' Super Bowl odds. Right now, our chances are around plus 5,000, not bad, but certainly not great either. If we manage to land Surtain, those odds could shift dramatically, potentially improving to plus 2,800, a 44% boost in our chances. That's a huge leap, putting us more in line with other contenders like the Cowboys, who have been boosted by their own big moves. Surtain's presence would give us a real X-factor in the playoffs. His ability to contest routes better than most, with a success rate of plus 15% and a passer rating of just 50 against elite receivers, makes him a perfect piece to push us over the top. As the Giants look to build on last season's promising run, adding a player of Surtain's caliber could be the final piece we need to make a serious Super Bowl push. And of course, this move would also have long-term implications. The Giants would be viewed as a team that's not just competitive, but aggressive in making bold moves to win now. It sends a message that we're serious about competing at the highest level, that we're willing to invest in the best talent available to build a championship-caliber roster. Our defense would be a different beast with Surtain, and that could be the catalyst for a resurgence reminiscent of the 2022 Giants, who finished with a minus 25% explosion rate allowed, turning their defense into a formidable force in the postseason. Of course, there are questions and risks like any big trade. Will the Broncos really part with Surtain? Will the Giants be willing to give up such valuable draft capital? And how quickly can Surtain adapt to our system? Those are questions only time will answer, but the potential upside is enormous. For us, Giants fans, it's about dreaming big and believing in the possibility that we're on the cusp of something special. If we manage to pull off this deal, it could be the start of a new chapter, one where our defense becomes the backbone of a serious Super Bowl contender. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Giants are in a position to capitalize on this opportunity if it materializes. Our team's core is solid, our offense is capable of putting points on the board, but what's been holding us back is that shaky secondary. Adding Surtain could be the piece that finally brings stability and elite-level play to our defensive backfield. It could also spark a ripple effect, inspiring our young players like Xavier McKinney and others to elevate their game, knowing we've got a true lockdown corner anchoring the unit. The NFL is all about those game-changing plays, and a player like Surtain could be the difference maker in crucial moments. Imagine him locking down WR1s in the playoffs, forcing turnovers, and turning the tide in our favor. In the end, Giants fans, this possibility is tantalizing. It's the kind of move that can define a franchise's trajectory for years to come. The potential to elevate our defense to elite status, to be a top 10 unit that makes life miserable for opposing quarterbacks, is something we all dream about. If this deal goes through, it's not just a win for the present but for the future of the Giants. It's about building a roster that's not just good enough but great enough to chase that elusive Super Bowl trophy once again. We've seen teams make bold moves before, and sometimes those bold moves are what take you from being a good team to a legendary one. And I truly believe that with Surtain on our roster, we take a huge step toward that legendary status. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the New York Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news. Keep the faith, stay loud, and let's get ready for what could be an exciting chapter in Giants history.